Okay, a few months ago, I posted some pictures and video of my um, tool station that has the tools on top, and of course the drawer with all the tools inside here. There's pictures and videos and all that. If you're interested, you can look that up. But the reason I'm making this post now is because I've made a little space here. One machine that I've used, and you can see my shop is very narrow, like a lot of your guys' shops. But I had this setup that I made about 12 years ago to do a job for a product that I make periodically. Haven't made anything this year, so I decided maybe it's about time to just put this in the shed, get it out of the shop space. And what it is, there are 4 routers here. It's a router table that has 4 routers, 4 stations, or actually 3 stations, 4 routers. The product required some very specific machining on the edges and shaping and such, so it was a lot easier to set it up as one station, and of course having limited space, put it all together in one unit. So the base here, the metal that you see for the legs, is from an industrial sewing machine. I bought a set of these, probably 4 sets of these at the flea market for 10 bucks years and years ago. They sat around, and whenever I needed to make something, I went ahead and grabbed a pair. And so I had this pair here, and I put them together. You can see MDF stringer in the back. Together here, there's a Lazy Susan here, and a Lazy Susan here. Now, if it looks cobbled together, it is because it is. I had an immediate need that I had to satisfy, and I had these 3 tops that I had already made, and of course, with the downsizing, I needed to combine them all. And that's why it looks cobbled together, and it's worked great. And it's one of those things when you don't need anything else, it kind of stays that way. So what you do is the clamp just kind of holds them together because they are not perfectly balanced. I never had time to perfectly balance it, but the one clamp is more than enough pressure to hold it together. And you can see this station here. This is, you can see the number 1 and number 2. The material passed through here on the first side, and then you brought it over and passed it on the other side. And as you can see, that's actually dangerous because you'll be over the bit. So what I would do is I would just run them all on one side and then come over here and run them all on the other side. And if you look closely, those fences, let me see here, the fences are actually just a hair above the surface of the table. You can see right there, and that's to prevent any fraying or any burrs or anything from actually changing the size that it would mill the material. So this would just clean up, the number first would just clean up one edge against the you can actually see where it's been rubbed. Clean up one edge, then you'd move it over and it will clean up the other edge, and it would size each piece exactly the same. So the space here between these fences are adjusted the one time just for the setup, and I never had to do another setup again, and I ran thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces. So station 2 was this one. If we turn it over, sorry, I'm so close I can't be further away. So station 2 was to machine just the ends of the material. You can see it just tips over just ever so slightly, and that's why the clamp is good. So you can see the fence there. There's a little strip of a spacer strip that goes here that just came off. I haven't had a chance to put it back on. And so you would run the ends on this side, so that's why the table is so offset. The ends were long, so we have full support on this table. And then let me see if I can get a better shot from this side. Rotate that over. This last station is where it has 2 routers. So what would happen here is, and there's a switch that turns on and off each router. I would operate them together. Both routers will be on at the same time. You can see there's a pilot bearing right here. Let me switch hands. There's a bearing with a spiral bit, and there's a shaft collar below and above, and that actually holds that bearing in place. So it would follow my templates for all the shapes that I wanted. This is your standard router plate. You can get these, I think they're 30 bucks a piece. I think they're bench dog or something like that. Inserts. Back then they were less common. Now they're much more common. So once I'd shape it, I'd come over to this station. You can see this one also has the same setup. This one here had the collar below, and of course the bit itself prevented the bearing from, these bearings are all getting through your face. So once it was adjusted, you can see that was the thickness of the material, was just about 1/8 of an inch. So once I shaped it over here, both routers are running simultaneously. On my fixture, I would run it here, then come over here, and this would clean up the edge, give me a nice clean radiused edge on every part that went by. So you fixtured it once, and my fixtures are put away somewhere. I don't even know where they are right now. So, but that's the setup. Not so much my specific needs, but to save space, I made this Lazy Susan, and let me see if I can be far enough away. There you go. That's one station, and then the next station, and then of course I would put the clamp right here, and that would hold it more than enough pressure. Yeah, I had fancy designs for making pins and making this nicer, maybe using wood, but like I said, as you see it, it's been 12 years, and I've made thousands and thousands of parts on here. So I figured maybe somebody else could use the same idea. If we recall, years ago, Craftsman had a table that actually pivoted in a similar fashion, but it took up an enormous amount of space for tooling, and this makes, for this particular purpose, this one makes more sense. But I hope somebody can use the idea. I know that my last video, you guys really liked that tool station. I hope somebody had the opportunity to make use of those ideas and make something themselves. Thanks.